What is wine? Welcome to the Lobster Inc. Product Knowledge Basics course on wine. We're very excited to help you dive into the huge and wonderful world of wine. In this lesson, we're going to start by understanding what is wine, the different parts of a grape, and varieties. Let's start by understanding what is wine. Wine is a remarkable beverage. It has been drunk for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans all loved to drink wine. But what is wine? Wine is simply fermented grape juice. And any one of the billions of bottles of wine in the world all started out the same way, as juice, inside a grape, hanging on a vine. What makes wine one of the most enjoyable subjects to discuss and learn about is that it's a drink that is nearly always associated with relaxation, mealtimes, and conversation. Wine is a drink that people want to enjoy. Wine is also fascinating because of all the flavors it is able to take on, from crisp green apple freshness to big meaty black fruits. The different flavors found in wine are nearly endless. By understanding how flavor changes from one wine to another, you will be able to serve your guests better by helping them choose the wines that they will enjoy best. To start learning about flavor, we're going to find out about the different parts of the grape. These are the flesh, the skin, and the seeds. Let's start with the flesh. The flesh is the most important part of the fruit for the winemaker. The juicy flesh of the grape contains the juice that is the basis of every wine. Inside this juice, there are all sorts of chemical compounds that create the flavor and aromas in wine that we can taste and smell. If a wine tastes or smells of plums, it doesn't mean that plums have been added to the wine. It is the different chemical compounds in the flesh which smell like plums that end up in the wine. The flesh also contains the acid and sugar that are needed to make wine. We'll learn about these in a later lesson. The skin. The color in red wines comes from the skins. When red wine is being made, the pigments or color in the skins leaches out and turns the juice of the grape red. It's the same as if you leave a red pair of socks in the wash with your white clothes, and they all come out a little pink. The skin also contains chemical compounds that add flavor to wines. Finally, the skin contains tannins. We'll learn about tannins in a later lesson. The seeds. The seeds in grapes are not important for winemaking, and winemakers try to avoid breaking the grape seeds when wine is being made because they contain bitter oils that can make the wine taste quite unpleasant. Finally, let's look at understanding varieties. All wine is made from grapes grown on grapevines. Have you heard of Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, or Chardonnay? These are all types of grapes. While they may look similar and all grow the same way, the flavors and characters in the wines they produce will be quite different. The different types of vines and grapes they produce are known as varieties. So Sauvignon Blanc, Merlot, and Pinot Noir are all varieties of grapes. Grapevines can grow almost anywhere. In fact, Antarctica is the only continent where vines do not grow. Just because vines can grow everywhere doesn't mean their grapes will always make good wine. Where a grapevine grows will make a big difference to the quality of grapes. If it is too cold, the grapes will not ripen. And if it's too hot, the grapes will shrivel on the vine and turn into raisins. As you can see on this map, there are two narrow bands that circle the earth, where the majority of vines that produce grapes for wines grow. This is what makes wine such a unique and interesting drink. It's not just that there are different varieties of grapes, but where the varieties grow has an effect on what the grapes will taste like. A Chardonnay grown in California, for example, will make wine that tastes different to Chardonnay grapes grown in France. This is why it is always important that a guest knows that a wine is not just made from Pinot Noir or Chardonnay, but where the wine comes from. Let's review what we learned in this lesson. You should now understand what wine is, the different parts of a grape, and varieties. Congratulations on starting this journey into wine.